How is anxiety impacting your life today? Do you get caught up in your head, just your thoughts going round and round and round, and you just can't make a decision of what to do next? Or you worry and worry and worry, and it just gets you nowhere? And then perhaps it keeps you awake at night, so then you're tired the next day and then you can't function again? It's no fun, is it? Well, I want to help you with that today. I want to give you 3 ways to help anxiety. And these are going to be natural ways, natural things that you can do, start doing today in order to decrease the intensity of your anxiety and to help you to not get stuck in it. If you've never been to a renewed life before, let me introduce myself. My name is Tawnya Kordenbrock, and I help women to rewire their brains to be able to break free from fear, anger, and shame so they can love themselves, feel loved by others, and have a deeper relationship with God. Now stay tuned till the end of this video because I do have a free offer for you that I want to tell you about. And I'll also tell you about a free training that I'm going to be doing soon that I don't want you to miss out on. Now, the first tip that I have for you is something that you probably already do without realizing it. But what I want to give you is some tips on how to be more purposeful about this and to make it more effective. So what is this first tip? The first one is to distract yourself. Now, as I said, you probably already do this somewhat. For instance, when you look at you scroll through Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, maybe you turn on the television and you just sit there and watch whatever is going on. Well, that can be somewhat helpful in the moment, right? It does distract you. It does get you out of your worrisome thoughts. Now, the only problem with this, one of the problems actually, is that they're kind of mindless, right? They don't really involve your mind. And it is possible to do those things, for instance, to watch a television show and your mind can go off back into your worry before you even realize it. So to make this more effective, a good way to distract yourself is to purposefully turn your mind towards something that requires concentration. For instance, doing a project for work or doing a craft that takes a lot of concentration, or perhaps learning some music or crocheting where you have an intricate design that you really need to pay attention to. And another way to distract yourself, especially if you can't cause your mind to focus on these tasks, then I want to encourage you to use your senses. So distract yourself by focusing on what it is, for instance, that you see all around you. A good thing to do would be to look for beauty, because beauty is just so calming and so healing. So look around and find out what is just beautiful around you. Look at the colors, look at the plants, look at the animals, look at the people that you love, and think about the beauty that is there. You could also use your sense of smell. And this is why a lot of times people do aromatherapy, because smell is very effective for changing your mood. But right now what we're discussing is using your sense of smell as a way of distracting yourself. So you could smell anything. If you don't have essential oils, open up a bottle of cinnamon, open up a bottle of vanilla, something else. Get out warm up some pizza and really take in the scent of it. Also, you could use your hearing and listen to spend a few minutes just listening to all of the sounds that are surrounding you and pick those out. And the last way that you can involve your senses as a means of distracting yourself is to use your sense of touch. And this is why taking a shower can be helpful. But if you're going to do this, and do it on purpose and be mindful of the water hitting your body, what that feels like. Pay attention to the water pressure and the droplets, and pay attention to the temperature and just what it causes your body to feel when it hits you. And compare what it feels like to have it come down over your head compared to your face, or compared to what it feels like as it hits your back. So those are some awesome ways that you can distract yourself out of worry and out of anxiety. Oh, and I forgot to mention also with touch would be to pet an animal around you. For instance, if you have a cat, then purposefully pet this cat and focus on what its fur feels like. And you can engage some other senses. You can use your sense of hearing with this and listen as your cat purrs. You can feel the vibrations within your cat while it's purring. And you can watch and focus on how your cat is flicking its tail up and down or back and forth. And of course, you can do the same thing with your dog, right? Let me know what kind of pet you have and how helpful it is for you to engage with your pet. A third way that you can distract yourself is to breathe and focus on your breathing. Usually when you're anxious, you're going to have shallow breathing. It's going to be up in the upper part of your chest. Your chest isn't going to be moving very much. It'll be this shallow, rapid breathing, or you might even be holding your breath. So pay attention to how you're breathing and slow it down. And as you slow it down, I want you to take some deep breaths out of the lower part of your belly. When your breathing is up here in the top of your chest, creates more of an anxious feel. It's kind of gearing you up to run or to fight. So want to bring that down into the lower part of your belly. And then you can just very slowly, for instance, to the count of 5, breathe in through your nose. And then hold that for a couple seconds, maybe 2 seconds, to the count of 2. And then breathe out as you pull your belly in, breathe out to the count of 7. And as you're doing that, do it repeatedly. If the count is too long, just shorten it because we don't want you to get dizzy here. Or if you do get dizzy, take a pause. But as you're doing the breathing exercise, then notice what it does to your body and how it just brings that calm and how that calmness flows over you as you're doing the breathing exercise. All of these tips are simple things that you can do today. They are the recommendations that I frequently give to the women who are in my online Mastering Emotions program. So as you try them, comment below and let me know how they're working out for you. So as we move on to the second way to help anxiety, I want you to think about how rapidly your thoughts just fly around within your mind without you even noticing. And so that is why this second tip is to slow yourself down. And a very effective way to do this is to write. That's right. I want you to do some journaling. So pull out your journal or just pull out a few sheets of paper, and you can type it, on a computer, but it's really best if you hand write it. And what journaling does is a couple things. It does help you to slow down and become aware of what it is that those thoughts are that are running around in your head. And then also, when you write, it causes you to move to a different part of your brain to function from. When you're feeling anxious, you are functioning in a fight or flight zone, and coming from the emotional part of your brain that is kind of running on automatic. But what you want to be able to do is to be able to move into that logical part of your brain. So when you are writing, that's where you are operating from. And so by doing that, it takes you out of your anxiety, but also you can get some solutions to the problems that you have been worrying about. This is one of the main reasons why I have my members communicate within our private forum so that they can actually process what it is that they're learning about themselves. They can process what their anxieties are, what they're discovering their thoughts are, what anxiety is doing to their body, to their breathing. And we can work through that and come up with solutions. I can teach them and coach them how to change how their brain is functioning and how to get out of that anxiety. That leads us to the third way that you can help anxiety, and that is to retrain your brain to not get stuck in anxious thoughts. Now, what we talked about so far are really good tips, but what they do is they help you in the moment. But they don't bring too much lasting change. If you really want to have lasting change so that when you become anxious again, because you will get anxious again, we all get anxious, the trick is to not get stuck in the anxiety and unable to move. So when you can retrain your brain to respond differently to upsets in life, then you won't get stuck in your anxiousness and your worry. So how do you do this? Well, what I teach in my online Mastering Emotions program is how to slow yourself down and to notice the response pattern that is there for you. Now, what this means is you have learned through the years, and probably even at an early age, a response pattern of how you think, feel, and behave when you feel fearful, or when you come upon an event that causes you to feel fearful, when you feel uncertain about things, or when you think you're going to be rejected, or that things are going to be chaotic. And that pattern gets triggered, gets kicked into gear, and it is often running before you even know it. So that whenever these events occur, you are doing the same thing. You are thinking the same types of thoughts. You are feeling the same kind of emotions. your body is responding in the same way that it always does, and you are acting in the same way that you always do. Again, this is what I teach my members in my Mastering Emotions program to do, is learn how to map out these patterns, and then also how to change them permanently, how to rewire your brain so that you don't get stuck in these emotions, but you can move on to be able to think more clearly and to be able to engage with others instead of freezing up, instead of having to lock yourself away in your bedroom or in your house. How does that sound for you? Let me know in the comments. And I have 2 other videos that you might want to check out. One of those is why stinking thinking is keeping you depressed. And then the other one is how to get rid of stinking thinking. And before I mention that, I do have a free resource for you, and that is a list of a number of ways that you can engage your senses in order to kind of pull yourself out of those worrisome thoughts, out of that anxiety in the moment. So I hope you will sign up for that and check that out and let me know what you think. And I do have a free training coming up soon that I don't want you to miss, and it will help you learn to allow others to love you. Doesn't that sound great? I think it's something that we all want. So check the link below and get signed up for that now so you don't miss it. And before you go, click like, let me know you found this helpful, and also subscribe so that you can get more of these free teachings.